Shavua Tov. We're in Parsha Ha'azinu this week. And actually, we're coming up to the final days leading up to Rosh Hashanah. And I just wanted to share some thoughts of some things I was reading as I was studying earlier. In the Parsha Ha'azinu, it's in Devarim chapter 32, verse 1, it says, Ha'azinu Hashamayim ve'adabera v'sishma ha'aretz imrei fi. Give ear, O heavens, and I will speak, and may the earth hear the words of my mouth. Now, Ha'azinu, every word in Hebrew has a root word, three letters, like X, Y, Z. And if you understand the root word, the shoresh, then you understand the direction of what the word is telling you, more of an insight. So ha'azinu, which is a verb which means heavens listen. And also the letters that derive from this can come to moznaim, which means scales. The scales. What is the shoresh? The root of moznaim? Aleph Zain Nun. What is Aleph Zain Nun? It's an ear, on ozen, but it's also used for balance. Why? Where is there balance in an organ in your body? It's in your ear. There are 3 arches made in your ear. And why? In order to be balanced, you need 3. We have Abraham to the right, Yitzhak to the left, and Yaakov in the center. You have 3 in function. You're balanced when you have 3 in function. And what if you're not balanced? Any move can be destructive. Like if you go to a mechanic, you need regularly, you need to get your car checked. You need your wheels balanced. You need the brakes checked. You need everything to be functioning right, or your car will deteriorate and you'll be in trouble. And so when you're balanced, whatever you think, whatever your mindset is on, whatever your thoughts are, in the direction you go, you will go in the shortest direction to achieve your goal. That will lead to your goal. And what is that? Achieving fulfillment. And on Rosh Hashanah, we blow the shofar, tekiyah, and this is from Abraham, the chesed, the sharing part of the active energy, love, compassion, to be there for others. But also you need to receive, and this is healthy judgment. Then you have Shavarim, the next blow, Yitzhak is balancing the left column. And so we have another tekiyah, which is all about balancing, keeping together. And this month is the month of Libra, which makes a person balanced. And how do we do this? It's when we study. When we study in the Torah, we keep balanced, we keep connected. And this is also alludes to the letter Lamed, which alludes to creation, being created according to the book of formation. And the sign of Libra, only the Lamed goes upward. So like when a scribe would write the Hebrew letters on a Torah scroll, they actually have to carve columns in order to stay within the line, carve them. But the Lamed is the letter that only goes upward outside of the line. It goes upward. And then it goes up to what we know as Bina, the energy store of life. And when you're connected to the upper world, you are balanced. And that's why it says, listen heavens. And who is the earth? The earth is your body. The earth is your body. And I was reading in the Pirkei Chotam, it even says, may the earth hear the words of my mouth. And I can do so when the words of my mouth, my words of Torah, are preceded. May the earth hear, which also refers to the Shekinah, the Sephirah of Malchut, which is called the earth or the land. It's the lowest of the Sephirot. The Shekinah is the key to the outer chambers, and the way to enter in is by having fear of Hashem, fear of heaven. And so, even like Yeshua said himself, our master, he says, seek first the kingdom, Malchut, and all of these things will be added unto you. And interesting also, the Arizal, he goes into how this is all bringing us, Rosh Hashanah is bringing us back to creation. It's bringing us back to the source. We're doing tikkun, repair. And he says that the prophet Habakkuk, who was a Gilgul of Adam, said, God, sustain your deed in these years of their exile. And Habakkuk heard that God was going to exile the Jewish people and was afraid. Since he was the Gilgul of Adam, the deed of God, he similarly refers to Israel as God's deed. But the mystical meaning of this passage follows. It says, when God called to Adam in the Garden of Eden after he sinned, he said, where are you? Referring to this, Habakkuk said, God, I heard what I heard from you, and I was afraid. God, sustain your deed, i.e. Adam, in these years, meaning even though he will not have lived 1,000 years, at least let him live in the midst of these years, i.e. most of them. And Adam was intended to live 1,000 years, and when he sinned, his life was shortened to 930 years. From this verse, we see the word your deed refers to Adam. Similarly, King David, who was also a Gilgul of Adam, said a psalm, a song for the Shabbat day. It is known that Adam composed this psalm. King David said about Adam, for I rejoiced, O God, in your deed, referring to Adam, for Adam gave King David 70 of the years of his life. Were it not for this, David would have had no life at all. And when Adam sinned, God banished him from the Garden of Eden. This was on Friday afternoon. But Adam was allowed to stay in the Garden of Eden through Shabbat. He therefore composed a psalm, a song for the Shabbat day. When King David recomposed this psalms, thousands of years later, he did so as the Gilgul of Adam. And King David was destined to be a miscarriage. But when Adam prophetically saw this, he asked Hashem to grant David 70 years of his own life, and indeed, King David lived for 70 years. This is another reason for Adam's life was shortened from 1,000 to 930 years. David could not have been born until his grandfather, Oved, came and rectified Adam's sin of abrogating God's command to work and to guard the Garden of Eden. This is why he was called Oved, which literally means the one who works. Only after someone had rectified Adam's sin could his prayer for David be fulfilled. And Arizal goes on and he parallels to God's curse to Adam, you shall eat bread by the sweat of your brow. And King David's father, Jesse, Yishai, was called the Bethlehemite, literally the house of bread. In any case, another indication that the word your deed refers to Adam. And what we're doing on Rosh Hashanah is we're doing tikkun. We're trying to correct the upper worlds. We're trying to do more than what we realize. We're trying to shake the heavens. We are trying to do repair. And Adam, Rosh Hashanah was Adam's birthday. And we are to go back to the state of Adam before the fall. And we are to do tikkun. Tikkun is repair. And when you rearrange these letters to Tanokh, it means baby. We are supposed to be like a baby, innocent, impure, born again. And on Rosh Hashanah, we have to come prepared to stand before the King and give thanks and to acknowledge the King of the universe. And as we come to these days, may we all be inscribed in the book of life. Zachreinu l'chaim melech hafetz b'chaim v'chasovenu b'sefer hachaim lema'anecha Elohim chaim. Remember us for life, O King, who desires life, and inscribe us in the book of life for your sake, O living God. And so let us continue as these days approach Rosh Hashanah. Let us call out to Hashem, seek the heavens, and do teshuvah, and prepare ourselves, awaken ourselves, so that we can give thanks to the Creator and have favorable judgment. May you all have a good week. Shavua Tov.